Scott Jones. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Second for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Nathan Slemane from Mr. Jones.
Are you Mr. Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review it with your client?
I did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Jones, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred and Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with assault, family second offense? That's a third degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Off the record. Could you put the Chapman files back up, please? Back on the record. Did you understand if you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea? If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea, gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you enter plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Chapman, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone forced you to enter this plea?
ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, state recommends deferred adjudication. There's affirmative finding of family violence, no contact with Sidney Jones. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Judge.
State?
And Your Honor, if
Is
it's
that
okay,
the plea?
it is, Your Honor. Defense and I recently spoke only a couple minutes ago about a potential addendum below the line.
Okay.
With respect to a no contact with a physical address, Your Honor. That's the only addendum to the agreement as you see before you.
Okay. All right, and you're all aware of that?
Yes, Judge.
You're aware of that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Showing you the waiver appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor, the many such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 6 years and that there be no contact with the resident's address. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states one and attached.
Without objection.
showing you the waiver of appeal? The waiver of consent to stipulation and stipulation of testimony. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. State, have you spoken with the complainant?
We have, Your Honor.
Are they aware of this agreement?
They are, Your Honor.
All right. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Do you wish to proceed with sentencing?
We'd like to proceed today, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, other than the state and I worked diligently to put this deal together and we respectfully would request that you honor it.
All right. Are there any alcohol or drug problems with you, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right. Do you just have anger issues?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And if you're released today, where will you be living?
With my father.
Does he
Father-
want you to live there?
He's present in the courtroom, Judge.
All right. He wants him to live there?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Court will sentence you to 6 years deferred adjudication. How old is the complainant in this case?
18,
All right. Do you have any underage children?
yes.
What are their ages?
17, 16, 12, 10, 9.
All right. And do you see them on a regular basis?
I'd like to.
Okay. All right. 6 years deferred adjudication, 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm gonna order parenting classes. Once he completes parenting classes, those hours will be deemed satisfied.
Thank you.
There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. You understand while you're on probation, you're not allowed to drink alcohol at all, even in your own home.
Yes, ma'am.
There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with or and there's to be no contact with the residents. On Clover Street. There's to be the BIPP course. Field visits. One time per month for 3 months. Then at probation's discretion. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And anger management. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Gonna show you? Yes.
The only thing that I'd proffer, Mr. Jones does have a number of minor children. If he has no contact with Maruby, his wife, who's not a victim in this case, then co-parenting and making those decisions would be very difficult. We agree with completely no contact with the residents and with the victim. We would ask if, with regards to the wife, who's the mother, just for purposes of co-parenting, we have no harmful contacts with him, at least.
With regards to that, that's gonna have to be done through a third party. And the reason why I'm doing that, Mr. Jones, is because, I'm sorry, Mr. Jones, is because your prior assault case is actually against her. So that's why. So I'm not just doing it just to be mean, all right? Okay, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Adriana Harrison? All right. We'll start with the case that's involving the PSI, and then from there, we'll move to the motion to revoke. Thank you. Right, I'm trying to find the trial court certificate. There it is. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 9045W and 2022 CR 10906W, State of Texas versus Adriana Harrison. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Anna Ochoa Nelson.
Danny Callahan, defense.
And are you Miss Adriana Harrison?
Yes, ma'am.
Have both parties received the PSI report, state
Yes, Your Honor.
defense? And also the DDRF MIC report, state and defense?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, are there any objections to the PSI report, state
No.
defense?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections to the DDRF MIC report, state
No.
No,
defense?
Your Honor.
Any witnesses, state
No, Judge.
defense?
Any what?
Witnesses?
No, Your Honor. May I amplify regarding the PSI? There are two programs that she has successfully completed. One is recorded in the PSI Child Protector, and the other is aggression, anger management,
All right, so in regards to this case, the state is recommending deferred adjudication.
Apparently we are, Judge.
So I don't understand.
just for completeness.
No, I mean, why should I go along with the deferred adjudication? And the reason why I'm saying that is because one, I'm not the person who took this plea, but she's on deferred adjudication for continuous violence against family.
Yes,
And
Judge.
now we have an assault case, and she had a previous motion to revoke, and that was for a violent offense as well. So I don't understand why I should follow this plea. And I'm keeping an open mind about it. I'm trying to figure out, I could understand if there were mental health issues or something else that was going on. So if y'all want to address that.
Judge, this offer and plea was entered by a different assistant district attorney. At this point, I'm bound to honor that. I don't know if Mr. Callahan wants to address your concerns himself.
Your Honor, Ms. Harrison does not recognize that she has a major mental illness problem, but she's been examined for it. The complainant in this case wants her to get probation, deferred adjudication. But she wants her to stay away from her. They get into fights, that's that problem should be avoided. She has the support of her mother's in the back of the courtroom. Raise your hand.
All right.
And that's where she would live. She has expressed to me that her method of handling problems is poor, bad. She wants to change it in her own self-rehabilitative efforts. At the two programs indicate that you can trust her. I asked the court to go along with the plea. May I address the court further?
Yes.
Harrison would like to speak to you, Your Honor.
Yes.
I just want to say I'm sorry for my actions. I was just trying to get my daughter back from the situation. I don't want to be back in here. I've been taking parenting classes. I'm supposed to get my parenting class certificate tomorrow. So I make it today. I know I got CPS classes that I had to take. If you do it this week to get my daughter back. I'm just trying to right my wrong and do better for my daughter.
All right, probation.
Yes, Judge.
Anything to say on this matter?
I will not hear what Ms. Ferguson had to say.
She wants to get out to get her child back, and she promises to do better.
Your Honor, I would say, as the court noted before, this is not the first MTR for a violent offense. And with the 3 new cases, the probation department is recommending revocation.
All right.
It appears that she has not completed the BIPP class, her parenting class.
Oh, just 1 second.
And I do not have on here, I would have to look in the system of any UAs that she's completed. I don't see that she's paid anything toward her fees or fines as well.
All right. So, Ms. Harrison, you may want to speak to your attorney. I'm not going to follow this plea bargain agreement. It's rare that I don't follow plea bargain agreements, but I'm not going to follow this plea bargain agreement. Now, I understand that probably, and I'm making an assumption, I understand that probably you entered the plea to the deferred and then entered a plea on the motion to revoke, thinking that the court would probably grant your deferred and therefore not revoke you on the other. If that was the assumption you had, if you've made a plea and the motion to revoke, I'll allow her to withdraw that plea and it can be set for a contested hearing.
We withdraw, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm going to allow them to withdraw their plea to any allegations in the motion to revoke, and we'll set the motion to revoke for a contested hearing. And then whatever you all choose to do on the new case, you're more than welcome to do it. How much time do you need, Mr. Callahan?
At the court's convenience, Your Honor.
All right. State for a contested hearing.
2 to 3 weeks, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you recall this back for a contested hearing? 2 to 3 weeks. All right, so we'll be back on December 18th. And I'll set them both at the same time. All right. All right, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 7772, State of Texas versus Rolando Valadez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Kelly Piddle?
And are you Mr. Rolando Valadez? All right, are both parties in receipt of the TAP evaluation state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes.
Any objection to the TAP evaluation state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No.
All right. According to the plea bargain you entered, punishment is to be assessed at 9 years in the prison. The state is recommending community supervision. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Judge, we just ask that you follow the recommendation, and Mr. Valdez has not had any violations on his actual interlock. And once the court has ordered him to do the AA daily, he has been doing that and he's found that to be helpful. So,
All right. All right, Mr. Valadez, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Yes.
state your name for the record.
Yeah,
Rolling Valadez.
no problem. So
Sorry.
the TAP evaluation is recommending outpatient treatment. Do you think that would be helpful to you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And are you in agreement to doing the outpatient treatment?
Yes, ma'am.
And they want it to be intensive. Here's the thing, it's still outpatient treatment, it's just more intensive. The reason why they're asking that of you is because of your alcohol use. And we're in felony court for alcohol use, right? So that means that you're probably a person who cannot drink alcohol at all.
Right.
Some people can take one drink, they stop, they're done. Other people, they just continue to drink. So I'm going to order, even though you've been doing the sober meetings, which I appreciate, I'm going to order the intensive outpatient treatment. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I work for Texas Highway and we work for highways,
Mhm.
do highway streets.
Ah,
Yes.
so you're all a part of cleaning streets or repairing?
We do the,
Builds them.
Yeah.
What?
He builds them.
Ah,
yeah, we add more streets to it,
oh, are you building streets or is it the freeways?
like the freeways. We're making more lanes.
He's been working on 35 for 20 years, Judge.
Oh, yeah. You know, there was somebody who told me that they have been working, well, seeing work on the freeway
Yes, ma'am.
since they were a little boy. That was Judge Carruthers. And he's like, they still working on it. So I don't think they ever finish. I don't know what that is. Why is it in other countries, people will work on a highway, like a highway gets destroyed. And then once the concrete or whatever materials they use have cured, it's like it's done. Why does it take so long here?
The weather sometimes, but the material and the process of in and out.
Mhm.
Because the streets gotta be open, so we need a lot of people directing the traffic.
Mhm.
And it's a lot of mistakes and stuff, accidents.
Oh, I don't think you should say
So
mistakes.
it's a lot of mistakes. Like, little
Yeah.
minor things.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yes.
thank you very
Yeah,
much.
was there. Kenny.
Okay. Well, I hope people will slow down when they see you all working.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Then I'm going to follow your agreement. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sentence you to 9 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 9 years. We'll do intensive outpatient treatment with probation. If there's an issue with that in your job, because I know your work hours are probably either early in the morning or late at night, just make sure you stay in contact with probation and let them know. If you feel like there's an issue where you're missing work or you can't miss work because they're gonna fire you or something, let probation know. If you feel like they're not able to help you, you can always come back to the court or call your attorney and you can come back to the court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, there's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Ignition interlock, that's for the full term. And I just noticed that was outside the agreement, Mr. Peddle.
Right, Judge. We're asking that it be for half the term and then be evaluated by the court to see how he was doing.
All right, I'm gonna put it for full term, but I've noted it on the docket sheet that that can be evaluated. So after the half term of this, if there are no issues, more likely than not, I'll have it removed, all right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank
So just come back to the court at half the term. Probation at half the term for ignition interlock. We can see how he's doing. I'm gonna order full term for now, but that's open. All right, there's a $500 fine. That will be probated. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. In regards to that, you can either do the 200 hours community service or you can pay it off if you want to pay it off. And I'll put that at $7.25 per hour. And you can do it at the San Antonio Food Bank. I always choose the San Antonio Food Bank because there's always a shortage. But if there's somewhere else that you would like to donate to that's on the approval charity list, I'll consider that as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right. There's to be the 2-year driver's license suspension. Victim impact panel. DWI education course. Probation, we'll do a field visit just one time to see how things are. And then after that, at your discretion. And regular UAs. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Now, it appears that sober meetings are helping you out. Since I've ordered intensive outpatient treatment and you're working, I'm not going to require the sober meetings. But if that's what's needed to make you remain sober, you should probably continue doing that. Otherwise, there's going to be an issue. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered?
No, ma'am.
Is there anything you need from the court to be successful on this probation?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal.
Sorry.
Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we can go off the record. So you work with highways, so you know, a lot of times there's a lot of accidents, and it's because people who are driving while intoxicated. And usually the person who's injured, if there's an accident and somebody's driving intoxicated, it's not the intoxicated driver. It's usually their passenger or somebody else. So you cannot drink or drive. And because you're on probation, even at your own house, because I know the holidays are coming up. I know that there's New Year's, there's Christmas. People always want to drink alcohol maybe, or drink champagne or something. Even at your own house, you are not allowed to drink alcohol while you're on probation. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.